We are live with Dr. Ben Quist. Dr. Ben, it is, once it gets, today is the 8th of February, I believe.
Yes.
Or is it the 9th? It's the 8th. And it feels to me like February's halfway over, which is a good thing. And February is not a lot of people's favorite month because it's like,
Right.
it's kind of squished in between there. In February, what's going on at the gym? I know you got things you want to talk about, but trends at the gym, are people who started the year strong, are you seeing an improvement by picking up daily habits? What are you noticing? Any trends at the gym you can tell us about?
As far as I feel like everybody started off the year good that started at the gym and they're still coming and things of that nature. So that's great because sometimes they do fall off a little bit go along. But yeah, for whatever reason, our gym just seems to stay busy all the time. So
your gym being Foreman Fitness in Grafton.
Correct.
And foremanfitness.com if you'd like to check it out. But as you'll see, Ben has many interests besides being a licensed physical therapist. It's almost like your calling is nutrition and health. I mean, I know if you're, what do you say to that comment when I make that comment? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it is the area of personal fascination for me. And so anything in the health and wellness and fitness fields, I find all that stuff fascinating. How do we stave off aging or hold father time back a little bit? I really enjoy all of those types of topics. And many times I find things that I really feel other people should know. You start to make connections and you see 10 different people that you really respect kind of weighing in one way on something. And then, maybe they got something there and you want to share. So, but this month it's February, Jack, and it's Heart Health Month, or Heart Month, right? February, Valentine's Day, everything of that nature.
True.
So we have really been delving in for the last bit of time on heart health. How do we keep our hearts healthy? How do we keep our vessels clear from plaques, things of that nature? And in fact, we have Josh Liberman, a local cardiologist from Mequon, who's coming to the health club for a free talk on Tuesday evening at 6:30. So that should be pretty cool. So he's going to be talking about different markers people should look at in their blood that they should be aware of, ones that relate to heart disease. And then he's also going to talk about some strategies to maintain good heart health. So he was with us last year and he spoke to a sold out crowd and did a fantastic job. So I'm really excited to have him back at the club.
Cool.
Yeah.
A couple of things. How do you have to sign up to attend that, Ben? How does that work if someone wants to attend?
If someone wants to attend the event, they can just show up. We have, I guess I shouldn't say it. We already have 50 people signed up. So there are quite a few people coming to this. So, but we will make room. So, if a few more people want to scooch in and hear Dr. Liberman talk, I think it'd be well worth your time if heart health and heart disease has been a concern that maybe your audience has had, which, it's so funny. I feel like heart disease, even though it is the most likely way anyone will pass away because it's the number one killer in America, so few people think about it. Like they think, oh, it's going to be somebody else, or it's going to be this, or it's going to be that. And you just never know. I was actually getting my hair cut last week, and I was talking to my haircut person about the fact that we had this talk coming up, and she said, yeah, man, I just had a client who her husband, who was 50 years old and they have a family, drove his son home from a sporting event. And then the husband went into the basement to work out. And this individual was in his 50s, I believe, suffered a massive heart attack and passed away in the basement.
Oh, God.
And that's why these types of stories, like, we've all heard them, whether it's family members or a friend or something of that nature. And that's why I really feel like it's people think of heart disease in the abstract, and they really shouldn't. It is something that is 50% runs into problems with it as they age, and it hits you pretty young in life too. So, yeah. So any strategies that you can do to help with that, I think are phenomenal.
Well, and nice timing. You got the heart health doctor coming in on Valentine's Eve, the day before everybody's heart's supposed to be working overtime. So nice job, Ben.
Totally. We planned that.
Very cool.
Right. And also a couple other things we're doing for Heart Month or Heart Health Month or whatever they call it.
Right.
Had a YouTube video that we did a couple weeks back, which was basically on the thought process of, are statins good for you? So cholesterol lowering, are they good? What, and basically it was kind of like my thoughts on it. And it was about a 20 minute long episode, but it got really good reviews. And if you have any audience viewers that are kind of, a little bit wary of statins or want some information on that, Dr. Liberman was actually interviewed in that episode. And
oh, nice.
yeah, so he put his 2 cents in, and he's very compelling when you hear him talk about like that type of topic matter. So and we are doing a follow-up episode, and I'm really excited about this one next week. So this episode, this is one of the things.
When you say really excited, I know you're really excited.
I am really excited about this one. So there is a supplement on the market called GG, which is supposed to have some statin shielding kind of effects. And it's a new supplement. And a PhD researcher, Dr. Barry Tan, discovered this supplement. He and this guy is like high level. He's like, possible Nobel Prize type brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did a little study on myself using GG. Right?
Of course you did.
And, for me, it actually worked to shield some of the side effects of statins. So I'm going to do an entire video or episode of the Former Fitness YouTube channel next week on GG, why it works, how it works, what my experience was with it, my blood results with it. And the craziest thing is I emailed Dr. Tan and said, hey, would you come on the episode? And this guy, he would be on like, any of the top podcasters in the world would have this guy on their show. Mm-hmm. So a rinky dink little YouTube channel, he's coming and I'll be interviewing him on Monday.
Oh, fantastic.
Virtually, obviously. He's not coming or anything. I think he lives in Connecticut. But so our next episode, which I'm really, really excited about, is going to be on this GG supplement. And when you hear Dr. Tan talk, it's like mind blowing. Like the level of knowledge this guy has, it just explodes your brain. When you're and he's so enthusiastic too. So, I think it's going to be a really fun episode when we get that all put together. But if anybody is on a statin medication, I would recommend maybe giving the episode a watch because, there are definitely some side effects, even if you don't feel them, like with statins, they are doing some things to your body other than just lowering your cholesterol levels. So, if there was a way to shield ourselves from that, those of us that do take statin medication, that would be a really wonderful thing. So,
oh yeah. See, Ben, you get on a show like this, the Jack Hankey Show, lifts you up in the stratosphere where Dr. Tan is. That's why he's coming to talk to you. It's because he saw.
He said that. He said, "Gosh, you know what? I heard you once on the Jack Hankey Show.
You were doing with Jack and Bulldog. What were you doing with that meat shake?"
If you're good enough for them, you're good enough for me.
That's right. That's right. Very cool. Statins. So I think, Ben, even if you're not on statins, if you go and get tested, it's like it's stuff you can know going in. You don't necessarily have to be on them to benefit from this talk. So when the doctor starts talking to you about statins, you'll have an idea of what they're talking about and what the potential side effects are.
Are you talking about for the when Dr. Liberman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to speak a ton on like statin medication. I don't think he's going to basically, and this is one of the things I quizzed him on a ton because like with statin medication, everybody is like, oh, okay, well, obviously statins really do reduce your cholesterol levels significantly. No one's arguing that point. Mm-hmm. But there are many people out there, particularly people on like YouTube channels and like, naturopathic doctors like making the argument that no one should ever take a statin medication because although lower cholesterol, they don't lower any of the things that actually really cause heart disease. And so Josh is going to be talking about the blood measures you should look at that actually correlate with whether or not you're going to have a heart attack. And your total cholesterol level isn't one of those. There are plenty of people with really low cholesterol levels that have a stroke or a heart attack.
Right.
So there are other markers you need to look at. And I can tell you, just from my own personal experience with a statin medication, because I did that little study a couple months ago, like the markers that Josh is going to talk about when I went on a statin medication, all those markers were greatly reduced and put into a range that were considered very healthy. So I'm kind of weigh in on that topic because, it's hotly debated whether human beings should ever take a statin. But I kind of weigh in on it. If you do have existing heart disease, you really should listen to your doctor if they're telling you to take a statin. If you can tolerate the medication, you probably should be on it, because it is making some changes, reducing the amount of particles in your blood that cause arteriosclerosis and possible anti-inflammatory effects and other things that it does that through. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. I got a couple things since you said we're going to talk about hearts. I got, no, this is actually real stuff, not made up stuff, not double Big Macs or anything like that. This is stuff I actually found on over the last couple of months on Arnold Schwarzenegger's daily email. I think you get that as well.
Yeah, I like what he does.
Yeah, there's one about positivity yesterday. Positivity protects your heart. Research suggests that being optimistic might play an important role in helping you live longer and prevent cardiovascular disease. Excuse me. The last 20 years of research have focused more on the relationship between your mindset and health. It used to be that poor health leads to a negative mindset, but it could be that your mindset triggers worse behaviors and health outcomes. Scientists analyzed 15 studies on nearly 230,000 people, so a lot of people. And this, I start reading this kind of stuff. I can see your mind thinking, is this thing BS or not? Because you're putting it through the Benz strainer right now. But found that more optimistic people experience a 35% reduction in heart attack, stroke, and cardiac death compared to pessimistic subjects. And another study found that optimistic people live 15% longer. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, so in the video I did on statins, I talked a little bit what causes heart disease. And so you could ask, 50 different people, you get 15 different answers. You could ask 15 different PhDs what they think causes heart disease, and you get a bunch of answers. It is kind of a muddled science right now as to, and anyone that tells you like this exact mechanism causes heart disease, is that you have cholesterol and it's clogging your artery, like they don't know what they're talking about, because that is a hotly debated topic. Because things like you're mentioning right there is like, how does the mind play a role in that? How does the amount of stress you're under and cortisol production?
Right.
It is just there's so many dimensions to it as to what causes that disease. So I have heard and read those types of studies before. So I 100% believe that is probably the case. Although I know of a lot of happy people that have gotten heart disease too. So, so I don't. Optimism is the only thing you can do, to help.
Right.
So
right.
A lot of really people that text too. So.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of those things. The more you know, you just froze. Come on back, Ben.
Coming back. I'm coming back.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Now you're back. Yeah. Yeah. When you were talking there, I thought it's one of those things that old saying: the more you know, the more you don't know. With so many different qualified experts having different opinions, it can be mind-boggling.
Well, and that's where, like individuals like Dr. Tan, who I'll be interviewing next week, these people that have these incredibly great levels of knowledge in certain areas, it's just amazing to talk to them, because and he's, from what I can tell, I've seen him interviewed by many other people, he is very humble, and he's and he admits the areas that we don't really know what the heck is going on yet, which unfortunately, like you said, the more you know, the more you realize we really don't know that much about a lot of stuff.
Right. Yes, and it's interesting that the smarter some people are, the less that they're willing to learn something else. It's like that saying, I can always tell a Harvard man, but I can never tell a Harvard man anything. It's because they already know it all.
And I think that's, the difference, in my opinion, I feel personally called to have a lifelong love affair with learning, like, and knowledge, and realize that many things are constantly evolving and new stuff is coming out all the time. And that's what's so much fun about it. It's like, and learning isn't something that you ever have to stop. You can do it your entire life, all the way to the very end. Right. So,
Yep.
and so, I actually kind of feel bad for those individuals that just are like, well, this is what the way it is. This is how they taught me to do this back in my schooling, 30 years ago. And I have not learned a single thing since then. I just find that to be boring.
Boring and unrealistic.
Unrealistic. Yeah. I mean, you can, on countless different topics, you could talk about why that, you got to kind of stay up with what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I've got one more for you that you should love, because it hits two of your high points that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple of servings make a big difference of fruits and vegetables. Eating 2 servings, technically it's 2.5 servings, was associated with a 6% reduced risk of heart disease, and an 18% reduced risk of stroke, and a 13% reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. Now, that hits two of your subjects that are dear to your heart, both diet and being on be preventive about diseases. When you see something like that, do you go, oh no, that's more overload, or is that something you would like to see come out? You got to come a little closer again, Ben. I'm losing you.
You hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
But I certainly agree with that. From our
hold, you got to come. You got to keep coming in.
I feel here a little bit.
Now, you got too much good stuff for us to miss, Ben.
Right. Most of those studies
Yep.
Studies are hard, for sure. Oh, can you hear me okay?
No, now I can. I mean, it's like, it's so frustrating because and I can see it in your face, the excitement. I'm like, damn, come on, Ben, come on. Right. Now I got you.
Yeah, no, I personally, I'm of the belief that, the amount of different varied vegetables is important health for your body. So, yeah.
Cool. Good. Yeah. So there's one you agree with something I said.
No, I totally agree with that. The only point I was making is that sometimes those studies where they're trying to associate, well, if people eat more vegetables, are they healthier? Those studies are, a lot of people don't like those very much because they're very hard to take out confounding factors, like healthy user bias. The people that are eating more vegetables are probably the people that are also exercising, probably the people that also are not smoking, probably are the people that are not drinking to excess. Like, so there's with those types of studies, they're sometimes a little bit tricky to get really definitive information and be like, okay, I know that's a fact, versus controlled double-blind study done on vegetable consumption. That would be a little bit more.
Yeah,
that's hard to do. So
yeah. All right, I got you. All right, this weekend, Ben, Sunday's the Super Bowl, one of the biggest days for parties and buffets.
Yep.
Of the year. Do you consider this like when we talk about Thanksgiving, where you say just for one day, don't worry about it if you have some of that stuff? Because I've got a theory that I'd like to try out on you too regarding.
Sure. Yeah, no, that certainly would qualify as one of those days, in my opinion.
Well, I think that if you bring, like I've noticed, if I bring like a veggie tray with some dip, and people right away go, oh, bring something like the thing is with those buffets is, to me, at least this is me, I'm not talking for anybody else. There's so much mindless eating. So you have one and but then you're like, oh, that's good. And you keep, if you can fill your mindless eating with some of those vegetables and have fewer of the other things, that seems like a good strategy to me. That's kind of become my go-to strategy for parties of any kind.
That's a phenomenal strategy. That's one of the habits we teach in any of our weight loss courses. It's called preloading your meal with calorie poor foods like that. Like a vegetable, food that does not have many calories. It's not calorie dense. It's calorie poor. I guess you call it low calorie foods like that. But yeah, no, that's a phenomenal strategy. And there are research studies that bear out that works very well too. So.
And it's easy,
Yeah.
And some of them, like the peppers, I just love eating.
Yeah. Some carrots,
Sliced pepper. Yeah,
cucumber, some, celery, whatever, and even if you have a little bit of guacamole with that or some hummus, that there could be worse things to be eating. That's for sure.
definitely, definitely. Are you a Super Bowl party person? Do you guys go somewhere?
Yeah. We always go. Typically, one of our friends has a party at their house, so we usually go over there.
And the kids, do you watch what they eat when you go to these kind of things, or no?
Children are impossible to control.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. Like, I gave up on that a long time ago. I can hardly control what I'm eating. To think I would control everybody else in the household is
Oh, I think you do a pretty good job of controlling what you're eating, Ben. I think you're doing pretty damn well.
Yeah. We're keeping it together.
Excellent. All right. Is there any other tips you want to? So Monday you're gonna record with Dr. Tan.
Yep. So next week sometime, or at the very latest the week after, on the Foreman Fitness YouTube channel, we'll be releasing that episode. And like I said, if anybody is on a statin and they're looking for maybe a natural way to potentially shield themselves from some of the side effects, it'd be an episode to watch for sure.
Okay. And then Tuesday night is at 6:30 at Foreman Fitness in Grafton, is when Dr. Liberman, he's from Mequon, but he's an excellent cardiologist. Is that correct?
Yeah, the thing I like the most about him is he's a preventive cardiologist that actually gives you other things other than just putting you on a statin medication. Like, he actually works with people on lifestyle changes too, which is really where you're going to get more bang for your buck, in my opinion, on how to prevent heart disease. Reduction, dietary changes, exercising is probably the biggest one. So yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Cool. So you got a big week coming up at Foreman Fitness.
Yeah, we do. A lot of events going on. Yep. So yeah, it's exciting. It's all fun stuff. So
in addition, I noticed lately, I've noticed a lot of, you have like personal training programs you have specials on them, kind of dip your toe in the water kind of a thing for people who aren't members. They don't have to be a member to come and try out the club. Is that correct?
Correct. And actually, we're running, I should be talking about this, we're running probably our easiest entry point special of the year, which is just a 6-week challenge. It's just a health challenge. It's not like we're trying to lose body fat or do anything crazy. But we have about, I think, 12 or 15 people signed up for it. But it's a real low-key challenge. So if someone is a non-member of Foreman Fitness, you could start with that challenge as low as $99. And you get some personalized help. You get a 6-week membership to the gym. You get programs right on your phone for different workouts that are tailored to you to help you meet your goals over the 6 weeks. So if anybody wants a real low barrier to entry and needs to kind of get started, that'd be something where you can email me at info@foremanfitness.com, and I could get you set up with one of those 6-week specials. But those will be running in February.
Excellent. And the new app, I love the new app.
Yes.
For me, it's working really well.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic. And that's part of the reason we did this 6-week challenge, is because we're doing it mostly through the app. So I can put, custom workouts right onto the person's app. And then different habits I want them to work on, little reminders come up about the habits and all kinds of stuff. So we can really help kind of change some behaviors, which is great.
Excellent. All right. Well, I feel better just talking to you, Ben. I feel healthier.
Feel healthier? I do too.
Yeah. Mental health, physical health. All right. So big week coming up for you. I sent you Bulldog's information. Bulldog couldn't be with us today, and he's sorry about that because he had some really nice slides to share with you, Ben, that you would have loved. But he'll be back next week, and looking forward to another week of fun stuff at Foreman Fitness and continued logical, I don't know, fun might be too far, but good ways to improve your health. Instead of, it's not just discipline, it's not just hard stuff. I mean, there are some exciting ways and new things going on, and keep learning, and it'll benefit you in the long run and in the short run.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Have a great weekend, Jack.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot, Ben. Take care. Bye.